Hi, welcome to Bible Bites. This week we're thinking about the theme of journey. There's lots of characters in the Bible where we could talk about the theme of journey from, but this week I want to think a bit about the people of Israel as they wander through the wilderness. They have been saved from Egypt. God has liberated them from their oppressors and has led them through the Red Sea, and He is leading them on to the Promised Land, to this land that God will give them. But right now, they're in a wilderness. They're wandering, they are following God's presence, and they're waiting. Now, this is a formative time. I think this experience of social distancing could be described as a wilderness experience. It's nowhere that we would choose to be. It's not where we'd go if we had the choice. But as we're here, it doesn't mean we can't grow together. It doesn't mean we can't learn. In Luke 4, verse 1, Jesus is driven into the wilderness by the Spirit. It's the Spirit that led him there. It means that in the wilderness, the Spirit can teach us and grow us and unleash something new in us. That was the beginning of Jesus' ministry. That was the beginning of all the things that he began to do around the land. And I think that's the same for us here, that whilst we wouldn't choose to be here, the Spirit is nonetheless with us here, and he's going to teach us new things, and I think unleash new things for the church for when we come out of lockdown. I want to think a bit about just a couple of verses at the end of the book of Exodus. So we're in chapter 40 of Exodus, and it's verses 36 and 37. Here we go. Throughout all their journeys, this is the people of Israel, whenever the cloud was taken up from over the tabernacle, the people of Israel would set out. But if the cloud was not taken up, then they did not set out till the day that it was taken up. One thing I think is fantastic about the Bible is you can use it to see the world in completely new and different ways. And I think that's a way of giving us hope. That's what I want to explore a bit using this passage from Exodus. Now, first I want to just talk a bit about the summer. In the summer we went to, as a youth group, Soul Survivor, and we had just the most amazing time. It was fantastic being gathered together with thousands of other young people. The worship was wonderful as we sang together, the sound, what we learned, and the fun we had together, the late night card games. It was just brilliant. Getting there is an effort. It's a long way away, it's a long journey, and when you get there and you're exhausted already, you've then got to build a camp and cook dinner and get everyone off to the meeting. And it seems never ending. You're just doing one thing to the next, you're not stopping, and then suddenly you're there in the main meeting, you're worshipping God, you're in his presence, and it just seems like, this long day, this early start, all this effort, it was well worth it, because look where we are now. We're with God together. It's amazing. And then comes the next few days of the week, and we're having more fun, and we're growing, and we're learning more about God and each other. And then sadly it gets to the last day, and we've been trying to forget that it's coming. We've been trying to put it off, pretending that we're going to be here forever. And unfortunately, the last day comes, and we've got to take down the camp. We have to strike down the camp, pack everything up. Nothing ever is as small as when we set it up. It all goes back sort of bigger and fuller, and it doesn't quite fit in the van, but we get it in anyway, and we close the door, and we move on. That's the theme that I want to explore, that I think is here in Exodus. The people of Israel followed God's presence wherever he went. Wherever God's presence was, that's where they went. And if God's presence didn't move, they would stay where they are. They would camp there. They would set up their life there, invest their time and their lives in being present there. But if God's presence moved, and it means they had to be vigilant to watch if God did move on in the day or the night, they would strike down the camp. That sounds like a lot of effort to me. Moving the entire camp, our entire life, and following God wherever he's leading. And we don't know where he's going. We're just following this pillar of cloud and fire. It's an effort, and it is tiring. But when we're there and we've set up camp and we're in God's presence together, I wouldn't miss it for the world. That's the metaphor that I want to just use, just to briefly think about what church is going to look like after lockdown. Because believe it or not, this is going to end. One day the restrictions will be lifted bit by bit, and we will be able to meet together again. And when we can, What's the church going to look like? What have we learned from this time? I love the meetings we have online with the young people. I think it's fantastic. The games we play, they're maybe not the games we play if we're in person, but we just have so much fun. The level of discussion and debate is brilliant. We're learning together. The wilderness, whilst we wouldn't choose to be here, is a growing place. So how are we going to come out of this place different? Where, and this is the rub, this is the challenge, where in the life of the church has God's presence been residing and we've sort of missed it and we've moved on and we've done other stuff? Where do we need to move to and camp there and invest there and focus there, because that's where God is? And I could turn the question round. Where has God long moved on, and yet we've had our camp there and we've settled there, and we may even have built buildings up there and really dug in deep because we're comfortable, this is a good place, yet God moved on days, weeks, even years ago? That's the question I want to leave you with. I have some ideas about what that could be, but I think it's probably different for all of us, and I think there might be themes which cross over that we might be able to see together. But I want to leave that challenge with you. Where has God moved on to, and where do we need to head to next? How is church going to look different after this time? Look forward to hearing your thoughts. Hope it encourages you as well as challenges you. And God bless. Thank you.